With this video, I'm going to show you how to straighten and crop a file. And I've started this in the past video, so here we go, jumping right in. And right now, with my crop tool, if you go up to the options bar, I have a ratio picked. I don't really want that ratio because if you notice, it's coming in with this 4:5 or 8:10 ratio. And I'm losing part of the image that I want to keep. I want to keep that border. So what I need to do is I need to clear the ratio in the options bar. So I'll just hit the word clear and click. Now I can just drag this and it will fill the whole space. So I'm not going to crop yet. I'm going to start by straightening the image. To straighten the image, also up in the options bar, there's a straighten option. It looks like a little level. It says straighten. We're going to click on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line along something we think should be horizontal or vertical. So I'm going to go with this top line in the photograph. And I'm just going to draw it straight across here. And notice I'm just drawing all the way across. I can draw even outside of the image. And I'm going to let go. Right then, Photoshop straightened your image. I can then grab the corners or the sides and do a little crop. So bring this in so we don't lose too much of our image. Let's see down here. Looking good. Looking good. Okay. To set this into place, we go back up to the top of the window, and this little guy is undo, this is cancel, and this one just means commit. So we're going to commit to the crop. Boom. So I just did a quick straighten and crop. Now you notice the right hand side is a little bit wider than the left hand side. I can go back to the crop tool. I really don't have to click it again because it's still an active tool, and I can just move this little side in a little bit. Do you see how it's jumping? It's jumping because I have snap turned on. So if we go up here to where it says view in the menu and we go down to snap, we're going to turn that off. Sometimes it's good to have it on, sometimes it's not. Right now it's not working for me. Snap tries to jump to edges or to guides that you have, so sometimes it's really handy. But I want to be a little more precise. So now you see how it's not jumping? So I can kind of make it match, visually match. And this time I can hit the checkbox again, or to make things faster, just hit return on your keyboard. Return on your keyboard. So that was the quick and easy way to straighten and crop. Now let's go back to this first one. This also needs to be straightened. A minute ago we just used the straighten tool. I think it's the best way to use it, but sometimes you don't want to do that. So notice I have gray area around my image, and when I'm inside of the crop it looks like a little crosshair, but when I'm outside and I'm near a corner it's a little quarter circle with little arrows on either end. When I do that, when I click with my mouse, do you see the grid that pops up? Now I can turn and visually align it. Let go, and once again I can hit the return button, and there is a quick crop. Just for fun, I'm going to do Command Z. I'm going to undo that because I'm going to do this one more time. So I'm going to click, bring up the crop tool. I'm going to visually eyeball this. And this time I think I'm just going to bring in the border a little bit more. And I'm going to leave more space at the bottom than at the top. It's a gallery weighted presentation. It looks old school. I kind of like that. Now, up in the options bar, I just want to point out a couple of things to you before I hit crop. Delete cropped pixels is on. So that means when I hit the return key or the little checkbox, the pixels are going to go away. The image is going to go away. Sometimes you don't want that. For this project, leave it on. I wouldn't want it a lot of times if I'm doing composite type work. So it just depends. You just know that it's an option. If I was going to have a panorama and the sky was kind of not fully there and I needed it to add sky, needed it being the crop tool to add some information, you can turn content aware on and it would look at what the information was surrounding that area and add it. We'll play with that later, but I just want you to know it's there. Over on this one, you can change this up from rule of thirds, which is where I generally keep it, set to the default. You can do a grid. So just, don't be afraid to click on things and see what they do. This little guy, use classic mode. Well, we don't want to use classic mode. The new mode's much better. Show cropped area, auto center preview, enable crop shield, match canvas, opacity. So the opacity is something I sometimes play with. So do you see how it just, around the edges now it's the same color as my background? I like to kind of know what I'm cropping, so I don't generally mess with that too much. Sometimes I make it lighter. And that is the basics right there. If you want to undo your crop, you can hit this, as I mentioned earlier. Get out of the crop is hitting that one. Come back, click crop. You can see I can do this really quickly once I practice. And like I said, I'm going to bring this in a little bit one more time. Don't be afraid to play. That's the number one thing about Photoshop, you guys. Try things, see what they do. And I'm going to say return on the keyboard. We are done with this video. Go straighten and crop a photograph.